Hello and welcome into the third instalment of our Employee Spotlight series. I'm delighted to welcome Simon today. As per the last two or three and the remainder of the series, we're going to be chatting about his life in and out of Cloud Gateway, getting to know Simon a little bit better. We'll start with a nice easy one. Perhaps tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Cloud Gateway, how long you've been here perhaps.
Yeah, sure. My name's Simon Allister. I am the pre-sales technical architect. Joined Cloud Gateway back in November last year. So I've been here about 3 months, and my sort of role before that, I've been in IT for quite a long time, probably 25 years now. So I've been on quite a journey, working from desktops all the way through sort of consulting, and now sort of technical architecture, where I've worked in sort of the project delivery side, designing, doing all the sort of design review, high level, low level designs, and then taking that into a sort of customer platform. And also in the pre-sale side, so previous roles again, been doing the sort of talking to the customer, establishing their sort of needs, what the opportunities are, and developing, again, solutions for them, pricing it and doing all those sorts of things.
So the whole gambit really then?
Yeah, quite a lot, the whole spectrum, yes.
That's, of all the introductions we've done, that was probably one of the longest, which I know firsthand. Obviously we worked together relatively closely on a few recent projects. What does a typical day look like? Obviously going into a little bit more detail perhaps on some of the stuff you've just explained. What sort of stuff sort of gets you out of bed in the morning? What's the sort of things that you're most interested in within the role?
Sure. So from the point of view of the role that I'm doing for Cloud Gateway, a lot of it is driven by the sort of sales account managers, where we're looking at sort of current opportunities, helping our customers get the best out of the platform and the services they buy, and also new opportunities that come through for service expansion. So taking on new cloud connects, and so my role is really to be part of customer conversations. We do it either in person or over sort of Zoom, and we can do sort of technical sessions where we can talk about how things would work. We can do whiteboarding sessions. Then from that also we can do proposals. So we'll then write a sort of solutions document for them, saying this is what we think we're going to deliver, and here's how much we're likely to cost you. And from there we sort of just a lot of customer engagement. So, and we've had quite a few, face-to-face customer meetings. And again, one of those sorts of things that helps, when you're in person, you can, have a sort of drawing session, whiteboarding, and really get ideas and brainstorm and find sort of solutions for customers.
Yeah, I have to say, so my experience is working together. Obviously, we looking at it from a marketing perspective, we try and distill down, obviously, the technical explanation that you might give into more layman's terms. And I certainly think from you do that better than anyone I know, in terms of taking all the tech and the cool stuff we've got going on under the bonnet and distilling that down into an outcome that our customer can expect. I guess that's something you've had to rehearse and get good at, because obviously you're dealing with me today. Tomorrow you'll be dealing with a sort of a techie, and obviously needing to communicate in different ways.
I'd say that's know your audience.
Yes.
In that respect. So like a lot of things I do, my approach is to understand the customer. So who am I going to be talking to? What sort of level are we doing? And it's partly, is it sort of more of a management level, or is it more technical? With management, you want to try and keep it sort of short and sweet, and give them, the relevant information they need. And then perhaps more so with the technical people, more deeper dives. So, more potential acronyms in and things like that. Acronyms. So that's the sort of way I think I approach it. So sort of a lot of preparation planning about that. And then the actual, delivery side of it is, the talking over it, give the overview of what we're trying to achieve, and then break it down into smaller segments that you can then provide a bit more detail on, and that's where typically diagrams or even whiteboard sessions work, because they are interactive, so you can gauge reaction and then sort of refine or help, and that's where the benefit is. And then sort of part of that as well is then just asking your audience for feedback to make sure you've covered off the points, and then you get the sort of confidence that what we're suggesting and is right.
I have to say, I've seen in the office whiteboard, network diagrams that you and the team have put up there, and I have to say I'm pretty lost looking at most of them. You have to distill them down quite a long way before I can get what's going on. So I guess that leads us on nicely to a project that we've been working on recently, which is the network architecture reviews. So I think it's fair to say not all, but the majority of our customers perhaps lack the depth and breadth of knowledge within the networking space. It's not to say there's not pockets out there, but it is a bit of a dying art. So obviously one idea we came up with, I think with customer feedback in mind, was that, well, how can we help add value beyond the contractual terms of a lot of our deals? And one thing we came up with was this idea of an architecture review. So from your perspective, how does that kind of add value to the customer? How does that help sort of initiate those conversations and develop them one step further?
So the network architecture assessment, it's a way of us providing our expertise and our help to customers. We can look at their sort of WAN topology, their cloud connects, their security side. That's our core strengths as a company and our skill set. And again, like you were saying earlier, the networking skills aren't as prevalent as they used to be, I suppose. And we have specific experience that we can help, and I believe we can engage with customers and through our sort of meetings, and we can provide them with options and identify areas that would be a benefit that will help bolster their sort of network services and also their security posture. So it's a really positive thing that we can help customers.
Yeah, because I know we've been working on putting together a methodology, a plan for how those conversations go. And I know we talk a lot at Cloud Gateway about being outcomes driven, right? So we're very proud of the technology that underpins the platform, but at the same time, for the majority of people, they don't necessarily want to talk about the tech itself. They just want to understand how is the platform going to solve our problems. We almost work backwards from that perspective, keeping a keen eye on what the customer is obviously going to get out of the experience. And hopefully that is with us helping and supporting them on that. But even if it's not, it's about adding value, sharing our expertise at a time when perhaps, there is a bit of a gap there, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, part of this process will hopefully help customers understand where their position is, with their current network and potentially a roadmap to where they want to get to, and how they will, the steps and the outcomes that they will need to go on that. I'll use the word journey.
Yeah, because it can be quite daunting. A lot of the feedback we hear is that it is daunting. Obviously, for the bigger organisations, it's daunting because of the size of the project. Digitally transforming is sort of a nice marketing-y word, but obviously there's a hell of a lot that goes into that. And then, of course, the smaller organisations where resources even more scarce, they don't necessarily have that in-house, right? So across the spectrum, really, I guess, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen when it comes to digitally transforming? Is it selecting the right cloud for them? Is it picking the right moment to explore cloud? Is it sort of moving legacy applications, infrastructure over to cloud? Where do you see, where do we have the most impact, I guess?
So I think from my point of view is carefully selecting your cloud provider is one of the most important things, and the services you're going to use. From my background, I've done a lot of work in the sort of public sector, and of course part of that is sovereignty of data. Where is your data? Where is it owned? And effectively, how much does it cost you to access that data? Because when you move to a cloud model, the sort of charging is more of a sort of consumer bill type approach. So it's difficult to sort of plan your finances. But certainly, that's one of the challenges is knowing your cloud supplier and what you're going to do with it. Obviously, and there's challenges around availability, scarcity of network skills. Other things I would look at as well. You experience a lot of organisations would have perhaps, vendor lock-in with comms, tied up with 5-8 year contracts, not the ability to sort of move away from those to sort of more agile connectivity methods, with people who are sort of much more flexible with contract terms.
I guess that's where we come in a little bit, and obviously we try not to turn this into a sales pitch, but obviously those experiences I think are shared by a lot of the team, aren't they? In that, with more conventional or traditional suppliers, I should say, long lead times, long contracts, unfavourable commercial terms, all these things sort of merge together, give you a fairly experience working with those organizations. Obviously, we try our absolute best to be the antithesis of that, do things a lot quicker, shorter terms, flexible bandwidth options, all those things. And I guess within the architecture reviews, we can sort of maybe shine a light on these new ways of doing things going forward.
Yeah, and that's where, we're happy to help in those areas. We're able to provide all those services. And and definitely, I think it's more of a much more flexible model that can be provided.
Right, so that's the work side, I guess. So moving on to slightly something a little bit more fun. What do you like to do outside of work? We had our company New Year kickoff yesterday, and we all headed over to a sort of a retro arcade gaming place. I saw you playing Mario Kart with the rest of the group. But outside of old video games, what do you like to do in your spare time?
So in my spare time, like traveling with my wife. We've been to some great places: Vietnam, Cambodia, South America, and then when we're not traveling, I'm quite a keen cyclist. So I've done some a lot of cycling around the UK and also a couple of tours abroad, so that's always good fun. And then, I like to cook. I've built a pizza oven in my garden out of clay. That was a nice summer project. And mastering the art of sourdough bakery. I'd never say I was a great sourdough, but it's something that I turn to, and it's great fun.
Oh, well, I look forward to trying that at some point in the future. And then we tend to wrap these things up with, I ask for our guests to give one word that best describes them. Have you managed to come up with one? It's normally the trickiest answer that people find.
I have actually.
Okay, what is it?
And I would say focused.
Focused, yeah, I can quite believe that. I think that tallies nicely with my experiences. Okay, well, lovely. Thank you very much for joining us and coming and sharing a little bit more about you in and outside of work. If you are interested in one of our architecture reviews, then they are now available. Check out the website, get in contact via our social channels or with one of us directly. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.